he, couldn't decide what he wanted for dinner, and he decided on this Chinese food. So I went and got it, and we sat down, and ate downstairs, and it really wasn't that good, and he said, he wasn't too impressed with it either. We'd gone to a new restaurant. And so it was about 12:30, and he, always slept downstairs lately with Savannah because she couldn't go upstairs, and I went on upstairs to bed, and
here I was, went to bed the night before, Sunday night, after a long day of work, getting ready to wake up Monday morning to go back to work. I think I had to be there about 8 o'clock in the morning that day.
I got up, probably 6 o'clock and was going to go down and wish your dad a happy birthday. And so before I went down, I was getting all his presents together so that I could take them down there. And I walked downstairs, and I really wasn't feeling good, actually. And I knew I had some ice down there in the refrigerator, and I went down to get it. And I walked by the couch, and I looked, and I thought, what? And then I just screamed, which Quentin said he never wanted to hear me do that again. And then I got on the intercom, and I was hollering at him to come down, come down. I said, do CPR on your dad, or... It was way too late, wasn't it? So, this is very hard. So I called 911, and they asked me all the questions,
I heard a weird noise. Like, I woke up to a weird noise, and I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, I get a page up to my room, and my mom's screaming and yelling, and I can't really make out what she's saying. But all I heard was her say my name, and that was it. And I put on some shorts and ran downstairs and get to the bottom of the steps, and I look over to the couch on the right, and I see my dad just laying there. It was scary. At that moment, I knew I had to do something. I ran in there to him, flipped him from his side to his back, and I was tilting his head back, and I heard like the last breath go out of him, and that moment it hit me. He was cold to the touch, and I started doing chest compressions while my mom was in there on the phone with 911. And I was doing chest compressions and mouth to mouth, trying to bring him back, but it was too late. They say, like, you're not doing it right unless you're breaking bones, but it was a weird situation because it was my dad. I didn't want to break his chest. I didn't want to do anything to hurt him, but at the same time, I wanted him back, and I couldn't do anything. The worst part about that day was when the coroner got there. She said that his time of death was 8 o'clock in the morning, and it really wasn't. It was somewhere before that because we didn't get to him till like 6. But they said the time that it would have been based on like his temperature and stiffness, that it was probably right around 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. And it hit me really hard because that was like the time that I got in that morning. And I was like, it couldn't have been. He was breathing, I saw it, and there is no way. Every time like I think about it, like that's like the one thing that I think about is like if I would have just you know, maybe walked over there and looked at him or something, and, you know, maybe tried to wake him up and wish him happy birthday, this whole thing could have been different.
Terrible mess. I didn't know how to do anything. I'd had everything done for me. I had to step up to the plate. Had to call the kids. Of course, you know, the California kids and Hamilton, Dominique, and they never answer. Just don't ever answer, do they?
About 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call, and I didn't answer it because, you know, Mom and everybody, they know my schedules and stuff, so I just figured it was like a fluke. And then I got a text about half an hour later that said, "Call Mommy, please." And that's different because we never use the word mommy, you know, to talk to each other. It's always mom, dad, you know, mother, something like that. So Mommy was a little different. And Sister Dominique had already gone to work that day. So I called her back, and that's when she let me know that Dad died.
And I just didn't know what to tell them. I just, you know, their dad didn't wake up. And we waited. I don't know, lots of stuff went on that day. Arrangements had to be made. I think the worst was that a lot happened in the town that day, and there was only like one coroner. And so we had to wait a long time for that to take place. And your dad just laying there the whole time. And I remember taking the blanket off the couch and covering him because he was cold. I didn't want him to be cold. And it all started because a neighbor brought down a big carrot cake, which was his favorite. And so that's when we said, we're having a birthday party. So we went out, you all went out, and you got all those balloons, 62 balloons for his 62nd birthday. And we cut up little pieces of paper, and we handed everybody a piece of paper and told them to write a message. And we tied them on the balloons, and we all went out front, and we let the balloons go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you.
And that was just amazing. And the other amazing thing that happened was on the side yard, you know, your dad was always so excited when the balloons flew over the house, and some of them could land in the side yard. And that night when we were out there letting the balloons go, a balloon came, a hot air balloon came over and landed almost in the side yard. It was between the street and the yard, and everybody thought we had planned it. And it just was this freaky coincidence that it happened at the same time.